tomorrow. No doctors can save your life. Second thing, all the wealth that you accumulate in this world, it will be with you at the most up to your grave, not beyond that. And third, when you leave this world, you have come empty handed and you go empty handed. See? But all that he has done in life is only accumulating, successful. How much I am successful in life. Therefore, friends, the real quality is never in anything that is made of matter. It doesn't matter what matter you have. What matters is what quality of life we have. See? Therefore, when we are talking about the higher quality gains, what we mean is our life left behind as the most perfect person in this world? Are people inspired and motivated by our very presence? See, imagine, for the sake of imagination, you go and talk to the mother of Swami Vivekananda. Just imagine. What will you talk to her? You will talk to her about her son. And what we will talk about Swami Vivekananda? How great person he was. And when this will be heard by that lady, what she will feel about her life? The life is fulfilled. That is the quality of life. See, friends. And this fulfillment is the one which we are all seeking. See? But not recognizing our own goal, we are only struggling. If we accumulate so many things, we will be happy. Now the question is why this thing happens? Under following conditions. First, we have accepted ourselves to be a limited one, a finite one. Anything which we accept as limited or finite or incomplete, we will struggle to make it complete. See? Now, when I consider myself to be incomplete, finite, a body, a person, then I will start imagining, if I get this or that, I will be complete and happy. Otherwise, what is that which can motivate a young, healthy, happy man to think of getting married? We are all born bachelors, isn't it? Anybody born married? Now this young boy, everything he has, now one day he starts thinking, what a life without a wife. Incomplete. See? And he imagines that if I get married, I will be complete. And he's right. He's completely ruined. See? And after having suffered for some time, then another thought, what a life because of the wife. See? This is how we are all struggling to attain happiness through fulfilling our desires, and these desires are nothing but imaginations. They are not real. Desires are the unhealthy abscesses on our mind. See? Abscess is also a swollen thing on the body. And those people who have shifted their thigh muscles in place of the biceps, all the time lifting the weight and all that, like that. So their muscles are also swollen. That is healthy. But if there is an abscess, it is not healthy. If desires were normal for our mind, we will never like to remove the desires. See? There was one lady, she got her child. Swamiji, please bless you, take him for some time. So I said, I hope he doesn't leak from below or above. No, Swamiji. I have plugged him. Very good. So I took that child and put his chambu size head. This, and I was just, playing. After some time I said, no, take back. Swamiji, why so early? I said, look, I am tired, okay? I can't carry his head on my shoulders. Take him. She took. Swamiji, your head is heavy or my child's head is heavy? I said, naturally, my head is heavier than your child's head because it contains wisdom. See, that small little head, you said it is heavy on your shoulder. And your head is also sitting on your shoulder. Don't you feel heavy about it? Now see the difference. This head on the shoulder is a natural state. Therefore, we are never tired of carrying our head on our shoulders. But if it is somebody else's head, ab bas ho gaya, utho. In the same manner, if desires were normal to our mind, we will never want to remove the desires. And how do we remove the desires? We remove the desires by fulfilling the desire. That is the only way. Now see, understand this all mechanics of desire. So when we are fulfilling our desire, what exactly has happened? Desire is an uneasy condition of the mind. You are very uncomfortable. I want that, I want that, I want that. That constant want creates a ripples, nay, tsunamis in our mind. See? And when the desire is fulfilled, those agitations in the mind, they are quietened. So the happiness does not come from the object, but from that mind which is disturbance free. But we misplace the source of happiness. We misplace that the happiness has come out of that object. And this is how we become extrovert in our life, and we do not learn from our own life's experiences that fulfilling desires has never given us fulfillment in life. See, friends, therefore, the quality of life cannot be improved by working under the desire pressure. Then, how do we work? Now take again the example of Swami Vivekananda. Those people who think here about Vivekananda, what do they get out of him or his life? He is a constant source of motivation and inspiration for millions of the people who have not even seen him. See, he didn't have money. What he has lived every moment of his life full of inspiration. The real quality gain is we remain inspired and we become a source of motivation to all those who are working in our factory, in our organization, or in our department. That is the real quality gain. In today's world, hire and fire is the only principle. It is very easy to condemn somebody because that depends on which side of the table you are. See? You know which side of the table you are? One day, I went to somebody's house in Bombay, and Bombay houses are like matchboxes. one bathroom, one toilet for the whole society. So I went and reached the fourth floor, and I was having a very high BP. BP means bladder pressure. So I was having very high BP, and I just wanted to go and dash the bathroom. I went and tuck, it was locked. I said, "Oh God, come on, come out quickly." So from inside, "Okay, Swamiji, wait, 1 minute." And on that door, there was a sticker. How long is 1 minute depends on which side of the door you are standing. See? So to condemn somebody is very easy. It is not a great deal. The real gain is we don't lose people. See, those who are able to accumulate and inspire more number of people in life, their life is really a gainful life. See, take the example of our Mahatma Gandhi. What was his strength? See, his strength was he was one magnet who could pull millions of people during his time. That is the quality gain of life. And this happens not when we function under the desire load. When we are inspired to live every moment of our life. Inspiration is a catalytic agent. You know, in the chemical processes, what is a catalytic agent? Which speeds up the process without getting influenced by or destroyed by the process, is it not? And it is a common factor. So, take an example. Husband, inspired husband. Wife, inspired wife. See? There is one couple, inspired husband and inspired wife. The wife is always inspired to cook new dishes and experiment on the husband. And the husband is the one who is able to tolerate everything she experiments on him. One day, she prepared something and said, "Honey, tonight we are going to have a candlelight dinner." His heartbeat started increasing. Tonight, I don't know what is going to come now. Because she is very inspired. I have prepared a new dish. This is my everyday experience. Many people, they say, "Swamiji, आज पहली बार बनाया है आपके लिए." That is why wherever I go, they give me first food. And after they see he is still surviving, then others take. See? So, this lady said to her husband, "Honey, come, special candlelight dinner." So he goes there, looks most pathetically. This is how they say you should pray to the Lord before taking food. And then he starts eating. And then she says, "What did you like?" Now, how many times you can tell lies? So he was looking around. Candles are very beautiful. Not the food. See? So, husband inspired husband, wife inspired wife, student inspired student, teacher inspired teacher, politician inspired politician. See? It makes a lot of difference. Is our life an expression of inspiration, or is our life a load that we are carrying to fulfill our desires? See, friends, the other day I was in Germany, and one lady, German lady, she came and asked this question. "Swamiji, I want your advice." I said, "What is the problem?" "It's not a problem, but I am thinking of starting the yoga studio. yoga is a big disease which has consumed the whole world. So I want to start a yoga studio because I have taken, the certificate. How long you studied? Oh, it was, 6 weeks course. So 6 weeks means 7 into 6. No. Per week, 1 hour. 6 weeks course. And I have to start the yoga studio. Patanjali must be turning in his grave. So, now my question is that I want to give up my job. She was working as announcer in some radio station, government radio station. So I want to give up my job and take up this as full time. I said, means what? You will be doing asanas for 24 hours? What do you mean by full time? No, I will have my studio, then I will register the students, and then I continued, and then I will earn money out of them. Is it not? I said, look here, if you really have got little grey matter, please understand, spiritual path is not for earning your bread. You see everywhere the same story. You join this course, and for that course, you will be given one chaddi and paisama, and then you will be sitting somewhere, and one kind of a bed sheet, and one kind of a topi, and sing blah, 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 and pay 20,000 rupees. Now, for the sake of 20,000 rupees, you have to say, yes, it was very good. Then other are victims. And then I get my commission, you get your commission. These are the cartoons of spirituality, friends. See? Then I told her, I said, look here, if you are working in whatever field you are getting your salary, why do you want to resign that? And do the yoga thing free. At the most, you require some money for running, take the running expenses, maybe $10, $20 per month. No, Swamiji, here everybody does like that. This is how the yoga has become a big business. And then there is a frustration. And what is the frustration? One lady in Stuttgart, I was her victim. I don't know what to call. I can call that her boyfriend was my host and she was hostile, and I can be hostilities. Or hostage, I was a hostage, good word. So she said, Swamiji, I am very much disturbed these days. I said, you are a student of yoga. How can you be disturbed? Yoga students are not disturbed. No, I am very disturbed. So what happened? See, I brought yoga in Germany for the first time 20 years before. I am the pioneer. It's very good. Then what happened? First batch I trained 20 students. Then they have opened 20 studios. Then they have made one batch. Each batch again 20 students. The same material, the same thing. And in this manner, today the condition is the yoga teachers are more in number than the students. So what should I do? I said, teach me. What can I do? This is how we go the wrong way. Let us understand, let our life be an expression of inspiration. Doesn't matter what you are doing, what matters is how you are doing. This is the message Bhagavan Krishna gave Arjun on the battlefield. See, Klaibyam masmagama partha na etatvai upapadyate kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam tyaktotishta parantapa. Hey Parantapa, hey Arjun, Klaibyam masmagama. Don't yield to lack of inspiration. Let every moment of our life be an inspired performance. An inspired performance is never repeated. See, whenever there is repetition, it is a tape recorder or a CD. No, an inspired performance is ever fresh. Therefore, the quality gain is this, that wherever, whichever position we are so inspired that anybody who is around us is motivated by our mere presence. See, that is the real quality gain of life. And such people, I'll give one or two examples about this. There was one person, Mr. Agrawal, he is no more now, and he was honored on his 80th birthday somewhere. I was also called there to honor him, so I went. He was an illiterate, uneducated person with a white dhoti and a white kurta, and there were about 500 people or so, and all MBA brand. You know, MBA brand means with a necktie. So all the MBA brands were there, and they will come, touch his feet, go and sit. Touch his feet, go and sit. I was thinking, my God, who is this person? I didn't know about him. And then the function started. And everybody came and told, he attributes all success in his life to this man. And this man was simple sitting. He was eating pan. Very simple. Unassuming. As if he knows nothing. After the whole function was over, I heard and learned his greatness and glory from all those people who spoke about him. So afterwards, when we had a tea and coffee, I asked him, I said, Babuji, kis chakki ka aata khate ho? What is the secret of your success? So many people. He says, Swamiji, I have got a hobby. What is the hobby? Help somebody to grow and be successful and leave him there. See the hobby? So he used to get young people, give them a fresh charge, complete, give them freedom, and they will work because they are total freedom. And when they have grown up, become perfect, then he used to tell, if you want to start your own, go ahead, I am with you. Don't remain as my subordinate throughout your life. See the hobby one can have. He was happy in the progress of others. And thus, out of this one genius, he has produced hundreds of entrepreneurs. He did not open a school of entrepreneurship. See, friends, that is the quality of life. And this quality is possible only if we remain inspired all the time. For us in AMA, that character is our Krishna Kanhaiya Nair. See, he is ever inspired. Any time you see him, talk to him, he has never anything to talk about his wife, about his children, about anything. Only AMA, AMA, AMA. Like, you know, the Tulsidaji used to do Ram, 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 Ram. This fellow does nothing else in his head. And it is not a mechanical thing, but he is ever inspired. That is the quality gain in life. See, friends, therefore, the quality of our life is determined how much we remain inspired in our life. And now the second question comes, what is the source of inspiration? Source of inspiration is not outside. From outside, we get motivated. Inspiration is from within. It is inborn. And when we thus remain inspired, we are in tune with our inner source of inexhaustible cheer, joy, and inspiration. See, Like, if you have a tap, sometimes the tap may go dry because there is not much water on the top. But if you go deep into the well, the more the water you remove, more fresh water comes. In the same manner, inspiration never dries up in life. Inspiration is a continuous flow. And such a person, he never grows in age, although his body may grow. Because inspiration is functioning beyond the limitations of time. An inspired person is ever fit in every place, in every time, in every department of activity, everywhere. See? Because he is not living mechanically. Desire-prompted activities are mechanical. And such activities tire a person. Have we ever heard any time Ramakrishna Paramhans took VRS? See, Swami Vivekananda retired. See, this VRS and retirement is for those who are tired in life. You may retire from work, never retire from life. This is one of the biggest problems in today's world. This is also in India now. If you take the population structure, the oldies are outwitting all other age groups. There is a friend of mine in Bombay. I always tell him, I said, I call him Nana. I said, Nana ji, you should be penalized by government. He has no teeth. Why, Swamiji, I should be penalized by the government? I said, tell me, how many years you served? 25 years. Good. How many years you are taking the pension? 40 years. See? And he is very happy about it. He says, Swamiji, I have never earned this much salary as much I get my pension. Only unproductive existence. See, friends, we may be retiring from our business or work. Don't retire from life. And if you want to continue to be inspired in your life, get out of the small cocoon of existence. Me, my wife, my family, get out and serve the society. Society needs us. See, we have taken sufficient from the society, enough. Now let us give back. Only paying income tax is not giving back. Physically get involved in work. Once you understand this principle, see, here I get extremely happy to visit this Matar village and this Manav Parivar people. There it is not the money that is the criteria, but how much time you give for the society. One place in USA, one father was frustrated because of his son. He says, Swamiji, I have given everything to my son. Good house, good food, good clothing, good education, everything I have given. But he is so spoiled. Where I have gone wrong? I said, how much time you have given him? There is no time. See, we evaluate everything with this dirty thing called as money. There is much more than money in this world, friends. And therefore, the real gain in our life, the quality is that we have lived for ourselves. Now enough of it. Let us now get ready to jump into the world, and wherever good activities are going on, just go and join as unidentified, unclaimed volunteer. See what a joy it will be. It is such a joy, friends. Because then you learn a new thing in life, that life is more beautiful when it is lived for others than when we have lived for ourselves. The second benefit that we get, our body remains perfectly in tune. Whenever we work physically, the body remains in tune. Otherwise, in the old age, we become a field of service for the whole society. Beta, aa jao, yahan dard, wahan dard. Keep yourself physically fit. And to keep physically fit, in addition to going for a walk to reach nowhere, see, all those people who go for a walk, they reach nowhere. कहाँ जा रहे? घूम के वापस आ रहे, जाएगा. In this manner, let us keep ourselves in an inspired mode and let us work for the society. Instead of all the time we blame our governments, let us all retired elderly people come together and, or maybe in your own individual capacity, whatever little you can contribute, handful of work, that will give you a great joy. There is one person here, he is not well, or else he comes. He himself is a victim of polio. One leg is polio affected. He is old now. He can't walk properly. In spite of that, when he became about 60 or 65, what he did, he handed over the business to his son. He said, now enough of business, you look after. And with that limitation, handicap condition, he used to go to the various hospitals and all that and serve the people with that dilapidated body for 15, 20 years. See? And one day when he was doing, he fell down and he had some fracture and all that. And he was crying for what? I cannot go now and serve the people. That quality gain. That is the real quality. Otherwise, money, money, money. Do you think the Middle East and the Europe and your USA, they have got less money? But see the quality of life. Therefore, the real quality gain is possible only when we live in this world all the time inspired. An inspired person is never tired. An inspired person is never bored. An inspired person is never a burden on anybody. An inspired person lives every moment 100%. His very presence makes others around them totally at peace. It is something like, two pieces of iron. One is a magnet, other is simple iron. Now, what is the difference between the two? The magnet attracts so many pieces of iron. The ordinary iron doesn't. Now, what is the difference between the two? They are the same material. Only in one, that is the magnet, all the atoms are properly organized. In case of the iron piece, they are all haphazard. In the same manner, a ordinary man, an extraordinary Mahatma, what is the difference? Only this much difference, that there all atoms are properly organized. And that self-organized, integrated personality becomes a source of inspiration for everybody around him or her. See, friends. So what do we do now? I also want to be a magnet. The iron piece was crying. Only crying, nothing helps. Then satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktihi, bhajagovindam, bhajagovindam. Expose yourself to satsang as one of the most important activity of the day. Satsanga alone will create a proper understanding and clear the wrong notions. See? It is so important. Many people say this thing. Swamiji, when we listen to you, everything sounds so simple and clear, But when we go out, put on our shoes, again we are back to square one. What should we do? Don't put on your shoes. That is why in our tradition, people go to temple and they exchange the shoes. The old shoes are left and new shoes they come back. There is a technique behind it. It is a suggestion given by the scriptures. What is that? Even in the darkness you go and you put your slipper or shoes and come out, again you go in the same darkness. Without looking at the shoe, you can feel whether it is your shoe or not, isn't it? Your feet don't have any eyes, yet you can know. And which shoe, if it is old. New you may forget, you may not understand. So that old shoe is our strong ego. So leave that ego at the door of the Lord. Then you can't go back without shoes. So find out which is the new one. Put on and go. And start a new life. Enough of old ways of living. Now second thing. No, when you tell, then we understand, but again we forget, and what should we do? I said, hey, you have got very intelligent questions, I will also ask you one question. And you reply that question, and that answer will be answer to your question. हर सवाल का सवाल ही जवाब हो, एक सवाल तुम करो, एक सवाल मैं करूं, बोले ठीक है. Then I told, in the morning, 7 o'clock I take breakfast. But again at 11 o'clock I feel hungry, what should I do? Again eat. Okay. I eat at 11 o'clock, but again at 4 o'clock I feel hungry, what should I do? Again eat. Oh, you are very intelligent. Again I eat, But again at about 10 o'clock at night I feel very hungry, what should I do? Again eat. See, in the same manner, once you listen satsang, after satsang everything is over, so there is again emptiness. Like there is emptiness in the stomach, we feel hungry. In the same manner, when we are short of wisdom, go to the dining hall of the satsanga. Remove the wrong notions and don't create new notions. See, friends, this is the beauty of satsanga. It is not a thought replacement. Earlier you were a criminal, now you are good. No. You are beyond good and bad. And then the truth starts expressing through us. This is how, when we are living our life, a quality life, thereafter with this quality, whether you are in your factory, whether you are in your office, or with your relations, everywhere we outwit our own performance. That is the real quality gain in our life. And for that, a technique is there. And what is the technique? The technique is called as the inner voice solution. Now this is one very important thing, please understand clearly. Many times we come across a situation wherein we are unable to decide to be or not to be. Those who have not trained themselves to take decisions along with the responsibility for the decisions, they can never grow in their life. We have to learn to take decisions in life. See, where it happened recently, one parents were telling me, they have one small daughter, about 10 years old, our Indian girl in other country. Very nice, she takes care of her brothers. When they go out, she will prepare tea, coffee, and everything she does. Very nice girl. So the parents were telling Swamiji, she has got everything perfectly well, but she cannot decide anything. Suppose she has to go and buy chocolate. So the parents will give, take this $1 and go and get chocolate. Mummy, should I get 5 chocolates or 4 chocolates or 1 chocolate? She can't even decide what she has to get. This is not obedience. This is lack of confidence. Now she is a small girl. It looks good also. But then you are a grown-up man, 30 years of age. You go to the mall with your mother, holding her finger. Mummy, mummy, मुझे chocolate दोगी? Will it look good? One of the most important quality of life is ability to take decisions in life. And this quality can be invoked only if the elderly generation has the wisdom to give freedom to the younger generation to take decision and take responsibility for their decision. See? We Indians, under the disguise of helping and protecting our next generation, we make bonsai out of them. You know bonsais? They look beautiful. Where? Inside the house. You can't see a bonsai in an open garden. And that bonsai can support maximum 10-20 mosquitoes if they sit on them. If a big bird will come and sit, it will be completely gone. In the same manner, the real growth is possible if we learn the art of taking decisions in life. See? And then the question comes. First, we see the option, go and ask everybody. There was one boy, he came one day and asked me, Swamiji, I have got some doubt. Can you help me? I said, that depends on what doubt you have. My doubt is that, my doubt is, I should get married or I should become a Swami like you. I said, you get married. Swamiji, I have asked this thing to many people and they have told me in such a great length and I got more confused. But you told in one line, get married. What is the reason? I said, those who get sannyas, they don't collect public opinion. Those who collect public opinion, they want a wife to take a decision. मैं बाथरूम जाऊं क्या? आ जाओ. You watch all the husbands in life. See? Therefore, wherever my camps are conducted, I advise them, but nobody listens, that also I know. I advise them, come alone. Either let the wife come or let the husband come. Don't come together. When they come together, the same thing. The home is shifted in the, retreat place. So, we have got our things together. Shall we stay together? I said, stay in the hell, who cares? Stay wherever you want. And there, the morning time meditation, they have to get ready and come. And then, husband watch. Right from morning, the husband starts. वो toothbrush कहाँ है? Then the wife barks. वहीं तो रखा है. She doesn't talk, barks. And he is accustomed to that. See? Then, मिल गया. She doesn't respond. Now the second question. Where is the toothpaste? आँखें फूट गई क्या? वो टेबल के पास रखा है. मिल गया. साधना करने को आए. And in third question, वो दांत कहाँ रखे हैं? कल रात को मैंने निकाल के तुमको दिए थे, कहाँ रखे हैं? Now tell me, such weaklings, are they fit for anything? As age grows, the woman becomes stronger and confident, and man becomes a weakling and good for nothing. Only because they are constantly dependent on somebody or the other. And then the confidence is lost. Without confidence, you cannot take any decision. See, friends. So to take decision, we have to train ourselves right from the childhood. And for that, we have to take risk. Without risk, nothing is achieved in life. And what is that technique? Whenever you have got any doubt, any question, go and sit before your Lord in the morning, before you become anybody, and in a fresh mood. Not fresh. Finish your bath and all that, and in that fresh mood, you go and sit before the Lord. And after you go and sit there, then chant this 7th verse from the 2nd chapter of Gita. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yasreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. This is the prayer attributed to Arjun. He asked Bhagavan Krishna, "O Lord, I am dharma sammudha cheta. I am confused. I don't know what to do, how to take a decision. Therefore, I surrender at thy feet and let you guide me and keep quiet." The first suggestion to your problem which comes in your heart is the right suggestion. Even if you fail half a dozen times because of taking these decisions, don't give up. That 6 times failure becomes your foundation to learn how to listen to your inner voice. As regards knowledge is concerned, none of us lack. We all know. Alas, we do not allow that knowledge to manifest. You know, our Lord Narayana is having 4 hands. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. That Shankha is nothing but the Vaikuntha mobiles. So he takes that Shankha and talks to us. Dials and talks to us. And he gets a message. The word of a phone that you had dialed is occupied and busy somewhere else. He is constantly guiding us from within. We are not available to him. So what do we do? Okay, dial after some time. Again, Bhagavan doesn't do that second time dialing. So he has got other technique. In your life you have got hotline. So he has got Gada. We must thank Bhagavan Narayana is not a South Indian. Do you know why? In South Indian, ta, tha, da, dha, they are pronounced same. So instead of Gada, a South Indian will say Gada. Om Gadadharaya Namaha. See? So he has got the second instrument called as the Gada, and he gives us one. Oh God! If you have answered my phone first, you don't have to shout, "Oh God." Listen to your inner voice, and to train for that, you have to practice this. Prayers bring us nearer to our own divinity. See, and when we are nearer to our own divinity, we will not be influenced by what we like or dislike. But we are guided by what should be right and what should not be right. So the guidance that we have to have before taking a decision, we have to rectify whether our guidance is under the influence of the personal likes and dislikes, or the decision is under the guidance of wisdom, what is right and what is wrong. See, friends, then only we train ourselves to listen to the inner voice. See, friends. And when we train ourselves to listen to the inner voice, you know what happens? All our arguments slowly die away. Arguments are only at a surface level of our personality. The other day, I was in Australia and in Cairns. That is the biggest reed below the sea, almost hundreds and hundreds of miles. All the corals are there. So I went to see that. And we put on that dress and went about a mile or two inside the sea. And then we jump into the water to see the corals. So, on the surface where our boat was standing, because of the heavy waves, it is dancing like this. So, the people told us, you put on that dress, we put on that, and those big fangs, whatever you call that, and we jumped. On the surface, if you remain, you are get buffeted by the waves. And when you get buffeted by the waves, you lose your balance. You get frustrated. So I again came up. I said, hey, remove that. I don't want that. And then I removed the other headgear also. Only glasses I kept. And then I jumped into the sea deep. The moment you go 5 to 10 feet, or rather 10 to 15 feet deep, no wave can disturb you. Waves are only at the surface of the sea. In the same manner, all agitations are at the surface level of our mind. Prayer is a technique by which we leave the surface level and dive deep. And as you dive deep in your own mind, you start discovering a new faculty. That new faculty is called in Yoga Shastra as Rutambhara Prajna, or in English we call it as the intuitive understanding. A person who is functioning with the intuitive understanding, he is not caught up by cause and effect. We are normally all intellectuals, they are caught up by the cause and effect. उसने ऐसा कहा होगा इसलिए ऐसा, don't get lost into that. See, one example I'll give you. One of my friend in California, his daughter must be about now 15 or so. So she was learning this Bharatanatyam. You know this Bharatanatyam, etc. Bharatanatyam means doing the simple things in a complicated way is called as Bharatanatyam. I can never understand what prompts and motivates these girls to twist their body for no reason. They themselves imagine, now I am a Mahakali. And they say, funny thing. Anyway, they do it. So, when this girl was learning, so they were told that you have to hit your feet on the floor and all that. What if she was doing it, And it so happened that her one of the, which is the right one, right heel developed some kind of problem, and she is so miserable, and she has to, even she is about 11, 12 years of age, she has to go in the wheelchair and all kinds of things. So when I was there, I spoke to them and all that, and I said, let's go to the doctor, everything we did. And then he said, Swamiji, my mother, my brother, all of them were telling that we have not done any bad to anybody. Why this is happening to us? I said, what did you tell? I said, I told them, see, we are listening to Swamiji for so many years. Yes. What did he tell us? Remove 2 words from your dictionary. See? Once Santa Singh was told, Napoleon did not have impossible as a word.